Hey guys, so this is probably going to be one of the least viewed videos on this channel, but probably one of the most important videos that I ever put out on this channel. But it's all good. I don't do this for views. Now, what I'm going to share with you today are the little secrets that I found out way too late. Divine timing, right? Everything at its perfect time. But had I known this stuff, I would have been way further ahead than I am now. When I found out these things that I'm going to share with you today in this video, it allowed me to make exponential leaps in my income in a very short amount of time, to the point where it, you know, it wouldn't even, like, it doesn't even feel real, right? So I'm talking like 0 to 50K a month in 8 weeks. Like, this is not a joke. I've talked about this before. If you're new to this channel, this is not like the place where I come to hang out and BS. I treat this very seriously. I want to give you guys the real deal. If you haven't seen the case, I made a whole case study on this. If you haven't seen the case study, here you go. The link is right here. You can get this document for free. The link is in the description. I'll email it to you. And you can go through all these and pick apart everything with a fine-tooth comb. It's all here. The entire history of how I built my business and made money. Like, this is all on the internet, documented. And if you're reading these documents, you pretty much have a business manual to go from 0 to 600K a year, 50K a month, or whatever, insert number. This is what these are for. So here you go. In the video below, I kept it conservative. I titled it at 40K a month, but in reality, it was way beyond that. Now, again, in case you're new here, or in case you think this was a fluke, here we are doing this for a third time in my marketing agency, my AI marketing agency, Scale. Here is $200,000 worth of deal flow within the last month. We've been documenting this literally every single day for the last few months. And here's another 100K in deal flow from earlier in this year. And then if that's not enough for you, here's an actual, client testimonial interview. And if that's not enough for you, here's the actual case study of how we built the email campaign that's generating my client almost $40,000 a week in deal flow. So that brings us just in the last 30 seconds, and all these screenshots, testimonial interviews, case studies, that brings us to about $500,000 in deal flow generated in just the last 2 months. So, and this is just what I am allowed to show from client campaigns, but also this is what I choose to show from our internal campaign. So our average client, this is deal flow, but our average client closes between 40 to 50% of any deals generated. So now, with that out of the way, here's the real deal, no BS stuff that you need to know about making money and competing at a high level. It's the stuff that I wish I knew a long time ago. By the way, I'm 29. I'm 29 years old. So I didn't get rich, what most people call rich, until I was 27. And then I lost it all because I got too cocky and I started blowing money and buying stupid stuff. And then I got it again, about twice over. And then I lost it all again because I didn't know the stuff that I'm sharing with you, or that I'm going to share with you in this video. And now I'm building something to where that will never happen again. And I'm making the easiest money that I've ever made in my life, and also to the highest level. And we're still very on in our journey. So let's just dive straight into it. All right. So number one, business is war. And there are people who have no fear. There are people who, kind of like myself, have, and I don't say that to brag, I'm just being honest. Like, there are people like myself who have stumbled upon some money and know what that feels like to make a lot of money, and then they've lost it all. And then they've made it back again, and then they've lost it all, and then they've made it back, and they lost it all. So it becomes kind of like this game, right? So they don't have as much fear as you might do, especially if it's your first time coming up, right? They don't. It's almost like a game to them. Like, it's fun. So these are the folks that you are competing with, right? There are people who have no fear about what people on the internet are going to say about them if they only get 5 views a video. If you go to the free course that I put out, it's 7.5 hours long. There's a person on there in the comments. It's the pinned comment. That person was my first subscriber ever. Like, my first or second subscriber ever. Pretty sure my first, but definitely the first person ever to leave me a comment. That person will tell you, look at the pinned comment. Hey Pablo, the pinned comment says, "Hey Pablo, I was watching you when you were only getting 1 view per video." So this is not just me saying this, right? That like there are people out there who do not care if they only get 1 view per video because they're not in this for views, they're in this for consistency. And we'll talk about this in a second, right? But look at this. Like I show you guys everything. I built this entire business on camera, so I have no problem showing you guys some of this internal stuff. Look at this. I know this is blurry, but like, what does that number say right there? It says 72 videos in a row. I don't care how many, like, there are people out there who don't care about what people say, what people think, how many views they get, how popular they are, whether they blow up or not. I was going to make money whether I started gaining subscribers or not. This is purely just a game for me, kind of like the Joker in Batman. This is just a game of, can I do this every single day for at least a year? And when that becomes your mindset, the money becomes a byproduct. Those people who think like that make money regardless. If you just commit to doing something every single day, you'll start to look like a psychopath to other people. Because most people can't do something every single day for 30 days in a row, 60 days in a row, 90 days in a row. They can't. And so it starts to, what really is like not a lot of work starts to seem otherworldly because your competition are worms. And we'll talk about that later. But listen, like, you know, I'm not going to yell at you in this video. I'm not going to belittle you. You know, I'm just going to put this out into the world. This is the stuff I wish I knew a long time ago. Like, there are real psychopaths out there who show up every day and don't fear losing it all. They're the biggest gamblers ever. One of the biggest gambles I ever made in the last year was putting a stop to my last business, my health and wellness coaching business. I just said, I'm not going to take on any more clients. I'm just going to stop this. And I'm going to find something new to do because I was not burnt out, but I was bored and I didn't feel like I was growing as a person. I didn't care enough about the fulfillment. And to just say you're going to stop your business and start something new, like, that's insane. But I needed something to keep me alive, or to just keep me going and to keep me growing, not keep me alive, but to keep me growing, right? So that was a huge gamble, but I did it, and like, making more money than I ever made in that business, that's for sure. And that was a multi-6-figure business. So you're dealing with people who just don't care, and that takes some time to work towards. So don't stress if that's not where you're at yet. You'll get there. You'll realize this is a game. You'll make some money. You'll get to the money really quickly if you're not there yet. You'll get there soon, especially if you consume the content on this channel, because I'm not here to mislead you. I have nothing to gain from you. So you'll get there pretty quickly. And then you'll do something dumb and you might lose it. And then you'll make it back. And then you'll lose it. And then you'll make it back. And we'll talk about the fact that, you know, building wealth isn't a straight line, but, you know, this has to become you. Like, these people who you're competing with, they see red. Like, this is all I think about. Money. Here's like I'll add this to the document if you're going to download this. Okay. Here's one of the key things. And I'm going to put a diamond emoji. I'm going to put a diamond emoji. Can you see that? It didn't even pop up. Diamond. There you go. Okay, here's the gem. Money is easy to make when it's the only thing you think about. The only thing I think about. Today and the next day and the next day. It's the only thing I think about. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm not in a relationship. Nothing. There's nothing else that I think about except for making Vinta Scale really big and making a lot of money. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. This doesn't make me better than anyone else. But if you want me to be honest, waking up early is the single habit that feeds all other good money-making habits in your life. So you should do it. I've tried doing it, then not doing it, then doing it, then not doing it, then doing it. I've always made more money when I've woken up early. Just like I've always made more money when my hair is really like cut and short and I don't have to worry about it. There's just these little things that you track and you notice. You should wake up early. You don't have to wake up at 3:30, but I'm just saying you should wake up early. So, and here's the thing, and we'll talk about this more in a moment, but it's still a choice for you, most likely. If you're not where you want to be, it's likely because it's still a choice. You know, and for the psychopaths you're really competing with, the 1% of the 1%, it's not a choice for them. Either they have kids, or they have a dad that they have to retire, and a family to, you know, like they got parents to look out for, and that's my situation. You know, like I have certain things that I want my folks to see before they die. I'm just being very open and honest with you, right? I can't, like my ego can't afford to make less than $1 million a year, and that's even nothing. That's chump change. I want like 4.6 million a month. That's my number. But that's like, it's not a choice, you know. And so there's like when the alarm sounds off in the morning and you're kind of tossing and turning in bed, deciding if you should hit the snooze button, it's still a choice for you. And you'll never win and see the money you want to make until it's no longer a choice. This is why I'm very careful with, like, you know, offering any sort of paid programs or paid courses or anything. I'm very careful about that stuff, because it's very difficult to guarantee people results when success and being successful is still a choice for them. You know, I'm very careful with offering that stuff, which is why I just put a 7.5-hour course, again, for free, so that you know that the information to be able to succeed is there. Business is war. It's war, and you should treat it as such. You're going to war tomorrow. So you're going to watch this video tomorrow morning at 3:30 in the morning. Pablo, me, you can bet on it. Pablo's going to be awake. He's going to be up. Going to go downstairs, grab my coffee, hit the treadmill, do some push-ups, lift some weights, and then I'm on my computer. That's what you're going up against. Because listen, there's like, we might be going after the same clients. Who knows? But I'm out there and I'm competing. And there's other people competing too. And you have everything you need to make it work. You have everything you need to make it work. You're smart enough. You're talented enough. You only have to be a B- student to win really big in business. Most of these people are not smarter than you. They're actually really dumb. They're like, they're really dumb. They just have balls, man. Like there's a lot of like 17 to 22-year-old kids who they just got balls. They have the balls to put themselves out there. Even if they have a corporate job, they'll make an account that you know, that their friends and family don't know about. They'll make a YouTube channel or whatever that their friends and family don't know about, and they'll just put themselves out there. Or they just dive into things. They'll just grab a credit card with like a $5,000 limit or a $10,000 limit, and they'll just go. And if they max it out, they max it out. You're not gonna die. I promise you're not gonna die. You can go get a job at the end of the day. Like you're not gonna die. So, you know, no risk, no Ferrari. Who said that? Luke Belmar? You want bigger rewards, you need to place bigger bets, my friend. And there's certain people out there who do not fear big bets at all. Anyway, point number 2, you must treat this like a sport. And you must treat yourself like an athlete. So I linked this video here. I saw this a few weeks ago, which really like encapsulated, whatever the word is. It really summarized how I was operating mentally. So this is Michael Phelps, obviously, and he says in this video, from 1999 to 2006, Michael Phelps was in the pool every single day, 4 times a day. Meaning he'd go to the pool for a 2 hour workout, he'd go do something else, and he'd have to be back for another 2 hour workout. He'd go do something else, be back for another 2 hour workout, go do something else, be back for another 2 hour workout. So in between workouts, he was studying, he was in school or whatever it was with family. So he never took a day off between 1999 and 2006. That's 7 years. 7 years, not a single day off. No sick days, no days off for birthdays, no Christmas, mom's birthday, dad's birthday, nothing. These are the kinds of people, but the business version that you're competing with. This is what you must do if you want the gold medal, which let's just say is your first, 100,000 or whatever it is for you in business. Self-made 100,000, right? Because a lot of you guys watching this channel are in the corporate world making six figures, and great for you. I'll always have respect for that. But the point is, this is why I post every day. I don't need to post a YouTube video every single day. I can definitely get away with posting once a week, if not twice a week. And YouTube content agencies hit me up pretty much every day, offering to make script me YouTube videos. But here's my I need a video every day. This is not about views for me. This is about just it's just being maniacal. It's just proving to myself over and over and over again that I can do something every day. Because here's what's going to happen. If you show up every day, you don't think you're going to be a millionaire? You don't think you're going to be a multi-six-figure earner in the top 0.1% in a year? If you post every single day, if you show up every single day, you'll never worry about money again. So it's just you're not trying hard enough is just the only thing. That's only the ever common denominator, is just you're not trying hard enough. Right? That's why I post every day. Sacrifices. So you must be willing to sacrifice it all. There's always someone who's willing to sacrifice a bit more than you, right? You have to be willing to sacrifice family, friends, and not in like a evil way. I mean, you know what I mean. Like hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, sacrifice parties. You have to be hard to reach. You're going to be misunderstood. People are going to be like, oh, you're sticking to yourself nowadays. You don't talk anymore. What's going on? It's because the only thing I think about is getting filthy rich. Like a different level of rich. That's the only thing I think about. I had 2 trips lined up this year. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. I had 2 flights booked. One for October, Halloween time, and one for December, both to the Dominican Republic. I canceled both of them. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not where I want to be yet. I haven't gotten things situated yet. I'm not stupid rich yet. And you can be like, yeah, but take a break, take a vacation, but there's always someone out there. And there's a version of me out there who's like, listen, all the person who's competing with you needs is for you to take a day off. That's all they need. They just need for you to take a week off and go on vacation. That's all they need. They'll never have to worry about you again. You'll never catch up. All I need is for you to take one day off. And I got you. I won. That's it. This is how business works. There are people competing for the same clients. This is how business works. All I have to do is wait for you to be inconsistent. And we'll talk about how to beat the worms, but all I have to do is just wait. Sit back and wait. That's the game. That's the game. And then compound that over time, and that's how you become like this 0.01% entrepreneur, agency owner, whatever it is. Well, I can't speak today. Whatever it is you want to call yourself. So I canceled all my trips this year. I'm not the entrepreneur who's going to like flex and do the whole, vacation in Cancun or whatever it is. Like, I don't, the Lambo in my garage type. That's not me. That's not me. I canceled all my trips this year. I deleted most of my contacts and my phone. I have one goal and one goal only, which I told you, get filthy rich. I can wait. I'm very patient. I'm very, very, very patient. That's a superpower most people don't have nowadays because they're overstimulated. If it's not my goal, if it has nothing to do with my goal, if this person, place, or thing has nothing to do with my goal, I don't want it around me. I don't want to engage with it. I don't want to interact with it. So this also means protecting the mind, and we'll talk about content, dopamine, food, things like that. Next, number 3, you must only interact with people who make significantly more money than you. This is extremely important. It's not about being pretentious. It's about protecting your growth and your progress and your learning. Why? Because what you think is a lot of money has to become normalized as soon as possible. You have to be around people who talk big numbers, who just toss around the word millions. Oh yeah, I just did a $100,000 deal today, or $500,000 deal today. Here's $250,000 in deals. Like, you got to be around people who just talk about numbers like this, like it's nothing. You can't be around people who say, hey, 50 grand is a lot. Granted, it might be a lot. Like in actuality, like you can do a lot of things with 50 grand, but the way we think about it, we have to normalize it. You can't afford to think it's a lot of money. And you're smart enough to understand what I mean, right? So you must only interact with people who make significantly more money than you. This is extremely important. YouTube content and social media content and like who you follow on those platforms, this counts too. So you should only be tuning into content of people who make significantly more money than you, the Alex Hormozis of the world, for most of us, right? Like, these are the people whose content you need to consume. And I know watching their stuff can get boring, and we're only human. Like, you might want to put on Netflix or whatever it is, but you get my point, right? So here's my TikTok as of today's date, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. Notice how I don't follow anyone on there. That's not to be pretentious or to think I'm better than anyone. It's just I don't want to see anything. I'm on TikTok, I post, and I get out. Right? Here's my Instagram right here. I follow 2 people. That's one of my companies and one of my mentors. That's it. But I don't even use Instagram. Like I don't even look at the DMs. I have my DMs closed on TikTok. I don't use these platforms. Right? Let's go to YouTube real quick. This is my YouTube feed. It's blank because I have the extension. I have the what's it called here? What's this extension called? Unhook, which turns off the YouTube feed. If I want to find something, I will type it in. This is so crucial. You are who you hang out with, but now because we live in a digital space, you are whose content you consume. You want to start talking like a G, whatever you want to call it. Trust me, you'll start talking different when you start consuming people's content a lot. Right? Like and it's going to mean, yeah, you're going to hurt some people's feelings, but listen, like you only get one shot at this life. You only get one shot at this life. What are you going to do? A do-over? You don't have time, my friends. Time is literally worth more than Bitcoin. Number 4, dopamine. So these are the 2 places you will get the edge. Focus and consistency. And we'll talk about it in a second, but dopamine. So you have to regulate your dopamine levels. Like most people are overstimulated, and why they can't succeed in business is because it's too boring for them. Because there's always some other source of dopamine that they can easily just tap into. Alex Becker was the first person who really put me onto this, just by me watching his content. I don't know him personally, and he doesn't know me personally. Filthy rich gentleman, filthy rich. Anyway, so look. So this is my screen time. This was today, September 10th. Today's Wednesday, September 10th, like I mentioned. This is my screen time for my iPhone. You can see on the top, it says Pablo. On the top right, it says Pablo 16 Pro Max. An hour and a half, and even that's a lot for me. Why was I even on there? I was Instagram, YouTube Studio. Okay, so I was editing videos on YouTube Studio, and I was looking at my DMs and stuff like that because I realized people's DMs were ending up in the requests and stuff like that, and I was checking WhatsApp. But even then, this is a lot. Like at this point, I had to say, "Yo, Pablo, turn your phone off." So I turned it off. But before I started posting on TikTok and Instagram, look at what my screen time was like. That's daily average. Meaning on a lot of these days, you can see Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I didn't use my phone at all. It would be turned off and in a drawer because all I was thinking about was the money. I didn't need a phone. You don't need a phone to build a really big business. You don't. I just use my laptop. I can get messages on my laptop. I can get emails on my laptop. If it's not my mom or dad is, calling me, it's not important. You don't need a phone. You think you do, but you don't. If you leave your phone off for 24 hours, you realize you didn't miss anything and nothing in your life has changed. And this is why I'm able to focus for so long on one thing, is because my dopamine levels are regulated to a proper level. This is like a cigarette pack. Your phone, like if you replace your phone with a cigarette pack, and the amount of times you pull it out, it's like you'd be like, yo, that person has an addiction. Look, here's more proof. This is July 29th. I was averaging, about an hour, and even that was a lot. So this is not a joke. Here's more proof. I should have gotten the date on this, but like 11 minutes screen time average. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is at 6:26 a.m. in the morning is when I took the screenshot. Like, I don't know the date, but that's it. Focus, guys. Focus. Focus is your superpower. Again, my screen time is only high because I'm posting on TikTok and Instagram now. And you can see that right there. That's it. But then I go in and out. So for the months that I was getting my agency off the ground, my screen time was about 5 minutes a day. And that's what allowed me to move so quickly, because I was so focused. There was no noise. All this stuff is noise, guys. All this stuff is noise. Like all the stuff that these, like, you see on TikTok, it's all noise, and you have to block out the noise. Literally block people or delete apps from your phone. It's all noise. I promise you. Like, you have my word. If you can just be more focused than the folks you're competing with, you will win. You beat them with focus. You beat them with two things: focus and consistency. Those are the only two things to make however much money you want. I'm living proof of that about 2-3 times over. This is the third time, and I'm very early on in my journey. And mark my words, I'm going to make a lot more money. So consistency. So this video that you're seeing makes 73 videos in a row that I've uploaded, 75 total. This is the tracker that I use. I showed you this earlier in this video. This is just a simple spreadsheet. My business is very simple and it's very bare bones. Like I'm saying, my website is bare bones. There's nothing pretty about my agency. It's just I just do things. All my videos, most of my videos are, actually all my videos are unedited. I just screen record. Look, you see it right there for yourself. 72 videos in a row. That's it. And you see remaining, it says 294 because we're going for 365 to start. Right? And I put out a tweet today. I said, for those who will see this tweet in a year from now, trying to figure out how I did it, here's exactly how I did it. So I used AI to flip cold email on its head. Then I combined this with really good marketing. And then I uploaded a YouTube video every day, educating people and documenting my business every single day on camera until we hit 7 figures in annual recurring revenue and beyond. So I'm just speaking this into existence, but you're allowed to talk like that. You're allowed to have a bit of an ego in business. You can do that. So that's consistency. Just be focused and be consistent, and I can teach you everything else. I can teach you how to be an excellent lethal marketer. I can teach you anything. Between me and my folks, there's nothing you can't learn. Just be focused, stay focused, and be consistent, and you can be a C+ student. You'll make more money than you ever dreamed of. You'll make more money than any of your competition, any of those little folks you went to school with, or your colleagues. Just be focused and be consistent, because they can't stay focused on one thing for 3 weeks or 3 months. They can't. It's laughably easy when you just try your best, and we'll talk about it in a second. But next, so you must treat the fact that you're not where you want to be as an emergency. So I viewed the fact that I would wake up broke, for the times that I did. I view, and even now, compared to where I want to get, I'm broke. I'm broke. If we're just gonna call a spade, I viewed and view the fact that I would wake up broke as an emergency. I told myself it was until I started to really act like it was. And you gotta ask yourself this, and I'm only asking you, like, I'm only saying this because I asked myself this too. It's like, the fact that you can go to sleep soundly and peacefully knowing that you're gonna wake up broke is insane. If you just sit on that and just really think about it, right? I still to this day have trouble sleeping at night. It's like I'm pissed off at the fact that I didn't get rich by the end of the day, and it's fine. Like, keep it in perspective, but it's also not fine. Right? It's also not fine. Like, here's my daily schedule document. Right? What does it say at the top right there? I print this out. I print these out every single day. I wake up at 3:30. My day starts at 4 again. Doesn't make me better than you. It's just my personal schedule and how seriously I take things. But what does it say right here? It says this is an emergency. Literally, like, I'm like the same way you treat things as though you're about to lose a loved one, or your house is about to catch a fire or whatever. Like, those emergencies. This is the fact that you're not where you want to be is an emergency too. And you should put everything on pause in your life until you get to where you want to be. So you know what it's like to try your best and to take something seriously, right? You know what it's like. So do that, right? I track all of my days down to the hour, and I believe I showed this before, but it's important. Like, lost time equates to loss of money, and you have to know where your time goes. We treat our money and our time in very similar ways. That's one of the habits that kept me broke. So I have all of my days since I started my agency. I have tracked all of my days on paper. I have all the files. This is not a joke. I actually went and got this for you to show you. So you see this, right? This is months. This is months worth of papers. Like, I have proposals in here. I have my daily schedules in here. I have everything in here. Right? This is the daily schedule I printed out. Right? I have everything in here. Like, we can go back as far as you want. As far as you want. This is like Friday, July 18th. I know exactly what I did, hour by hour. Right? See that? I have every single day since the time I started this agency documented on paper. I have client proposals that I would print out. I'm gonna block out their business name for a second. I'm gonna block out their business name for a second. 1 second. I just want to show you how real this is. No, I can't show that. It's gonna show their name. Hold on. There's no way I could block that. How can I show this without revealing? Okay, here. Anyway, here's a proposal. Here's like the backside of it. Right? This is a deck I put together that I printed out and I was editing. But, like, it's all here. The entire history of my agency, every single day, and exactly what I did every single day is all here. This is I'm using a webcam, so you can't really see this, but this is thick. This is hundreds of days. So anyway, let me put this away for a second. But I say all this to say, guys, like, for every claim I make on here, I have a receipt. I think you know that already, if you've been here long enough. I have all the days since I started my agency on paper. I have all the files. Remember how we talked about, the fact that some people gamble? I decided I was going to build this business on camera kind of for two reasons. Number one, because, for brand authority and stuff like that. But number two, just for fun. Not for fun, but like, well, kind of was for fun. But it's just to just to prove to myself that I could do this. And if anyone ever tried to claim that like there was some kind of hole in my game, like, you know, it takes a certain amount of balls to document your business on camera, knowing that things are going to go south a lot of days. And I just didn't want anyone to just to say, hey, you didn't do this or you did do this. Like, I have every single day written down on paper. So, but also I going back to the main point, like I print this out because this is how, like, if you've ever been in college or university, I went to school, and you know how seriously you would prepare for an exam. Like, you'd print out you'd make your notes and you'd study it. You'd go to the library, you'd study it. That's how I treat my life. That's how you got to treat your life and your business. Study, right? So I grade myself at the end of every day. I didn't show you that, but on every paper there's a letter grade from A, B, C, D. Very rarely does it say A plus. Just because you got to be hard on yourself and you got to be brutally honest, right? Call yourself out when you cut corners. But like, I print out my days and I track everything. I'm like an accountant for my time. And you know what it's like to take your life seriously. You know what it's like to take yourself seriously. The same way you approach an exam, a high school exam or university exam or whatever it is, or you're trying to get a promotion at work and you're just very studious, like you're maniacal about things. That's how you got to treat this thing. Now, next, so that was point number 5. Point number 6 is this will not be a straight line. This will not be a straight line. You're going to gain some money. You're going to lose some money. You're going to, you know what I mean? Here, let me show you something here. So this is my YouTube dashboard, right? I don't mind showing you guys this stuff. Let's go to analytics. So look at this, right? See this graph? How it kind of has its humps. You think you're onto something, and then like it dips it again. Then you think you're onto something, and it dips, right? It's not a straight line. How do I just further emphasizing the point? Look, I was putting out videos every day when we were getting here. Let's zoom out even more. Last 90 days, when I was getting, this is not a joke, 7 views a video, 5 views in a day, 1 view a day, 2 views in a day. This is not a joke. Literally, there are days where I get 0 views. June 28th, I got 0 views. Friday, June 27th, I got 0 views. June 26th, I got 1 view. 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5, 15, 7. Like, this is not a straight line. And then you think you're about to blow up right here. And then it comes crashing down. And that's how business is. It's not a straight line. You're going to hit your first 20K month and you think that you're making 20K a month. And then the next month you make 10. And if you were smart, you had set the money to the side. Don't be stupid like I was. But don't think you're not going to win again. Don't think you're not going to lose again, but don't think you're not going to win again. And the next time you win, you're going to win bigger. But you got to know that this will not be a straight line, and you have to play the game smart. Take your profits, take your wins, and like set it to the side. Don't blow this. But also don't get discouraged when your revenue starts to dip or your mental state starts to dip. We're all experiencing the same things in this game, in this war. We all have the same temptations, the same urges, the same everything. This will not be a straight line. We all have our good days. Your competition, we all have our bad days. This will not be a straight line. You must prepare for that. You're going to face enemies that are bigger and tougher and stronger than you thought. A lot of those enemies will be your own fears and your own judgments about how things are supposed to go and how things should have gone by now or where you should have been by now. This will not be a straight line. All you have to do is stay in the game. And this brings me to point number 7. If you take nothing away from this video, take this. If you take nothing else away from this video, take this. All you have to do is outlast the worms. The worms are your brain dead competition. All you have to do is outlast the worms. The worms your competition, they will quit. I guarantee you. Take my word for it. Take my word for it. They will quit somewhere between month 2 and month 6. They'll quit. They'll just decide that this is not for them because they're not seeing results, because they're not trying their best. Right? They will quit somewhere between month 2 and month 6. All you got to do is make it to month 6. See this YouTube tracking sheet for my content? Right? So every color is a month. So red is 1 month, yellow is 1 month. I'll probably make this orange, and then the next one blue, and then the next one green. I just have fun with it, right? But most of the worms dropped off after after month 2. All of them will drop off after month 6. All of them will. It's just how it goes. I just have to stick around until month 6, and I win. I just win. Like, all the clients they were working with will end up with me. It's just how it goes. The YouTube algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, the TikTok algorithm will favor me, because there's nobody else who's showing up that consistently. So the algorithm just has to push someone up. So it'll push me up. And that's when you have the momentum. That's when you have the wind blowing behind you and pushing in the right direction. That's when it starts to compound. Everything happens after like month 6. Everything. All you have to do is outlast the worms, and they will quit between month 2 and month 6. So just wait it out. From there, it's all you. It's all free game. It's all easy wins. You just collect. It's laughably easy. 80% of them, listen, 80% of your competition will be lost to addictions. They'll be lost to phone addictions, TikTok addictions, so on and so forth. I don't know if I could say this word on YouTube. The other another 10% will be lost to just a lack of heart and courage. They just won't have the courage to do certain things, to put themselves out there. Another 5% will be lost due to excuses. There's a reason why they didn't post today, or there's a reason why they didn't send the email, or whatever it is. They'll just be lost to excuses. Then another 4% will be lost to fear of judgment. They're worried about what their friends and family are going to say. And then there's just the 1% left that you're actually competing with. So you're really only competing with 1% of people. And just outlast them too. Because they have an expiry date. Very few people are cut from the cloth that you are cut from. It's just you may not realize it. Or you just have to decide what you're cut from. But just outlast people. Just outlast people. That's what kind of makes me laugh every day. It's like I'm back. I'm back the next day, and I'm back the next day, and I'm back the next day. Tomorrow I'll be here again. Just outlast people. This is probably the most important document or file in my entire agency. Is this one right here? It's more important than my profit and loss statements, because I know the more this stacks up, the more money I'll make. It just happens that way. So often we will not get to the heights we want until we have no choice. This is to conclude the video. Often we will not get to the heights we want to get to until we have no choice. Until we have no choice but to be successful. You will only win when there's no other option. So when that day comes, this video will still be here. I promise I won't take it down. And when you have no choice, you will make it work with whatever you have. I built my business. My business is with a laptop and a notepad. I still use my Mac webcam. All these videos have been shot on a webcam. My website is the most bare bones thing ever. But it works. It works. Look how bare bones and basic this is. I don't care about making things pretty. I focus. I care about getting things done. I use a webcam to shoot my YouTube videos. Listen, tomorrow I'll be here, and the next day I'll be here, and the next day I'll be here. Tomorrow there will be another YouTube video. The next day there will be another YouTube video. The next day there will be another YouTube video. These are not pre-recorded. I'm recording this the day of. Recorded on Wednesday, September 10th. Sometimes I'll get a day or two ahead, but I show up every day. And I'll be here the next day, and tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, until I leave this game of life and this game of business with what I want. There are things in this life that I want to see and experience. And you can too. You can do that too. It's just a matter of decision. You just have to decide to do that and to live your life that way. And the universe will give you anything you want if you try your best. That's the secret. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.